Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I am your ever-loving host, Shorty, and today we're going to have a look at Goobers. This is the cover B. It's not the one I actually wanted. It's kind of cool. I like the Garbage Pail Kids, but damn, your K can screwed us over, so we didn't get a cover A. So if you've got one at home and it looks different to that, that's fine. That's why. And this one is one that's been on my pull list since I first heard about it, so you're probably thinking, well, yeah, this is going to be a fairly easy review. Shorty loves it. And yeah, I am going to love it. I'm going to say how great it is. But I can tell you why I think it's great. I'm not just going to charge off and just be like, right, it's a cool comic, you buy it, that's the job done now. I was excited for a couple of reasons before it even came out. First off is the artist, John Lee, I want to say. It was Ryan Lee, sorry, who was the artist on Mountainhead, which is a comic book which didn't get anywhere near as much love as I think it deserved. It was a beautiful piece of work, really nice, creepy, unsettling horror going on in there, like brutal violence when it needs to be. Genuinely cool comic book. But I don't know, people didn't seem to be talking about it in the way I wanted to, or not the quantity I wanted to when it first came out. More than that, though, it is Cody Ziegler that got me excited for this one. He is a fantastic writer. If you haven't heard of him, you've probably heard of his stuff. He writes for Rick and Morty and Deadpool, the comic book. He also wrote for She-Hulk, the TV series, and you've got Miles Morales, the comic book. And Futurama, the TV series, and Spider-Punk, the comic book. Like, he gets all over the place. He writes all this stuff, and he has a really nice knack for doing funny stuff, but also kind of realistic, down-to-earth, grounded kind of things as well. In this, it's more his funny, dark horror kind of stuff that I was looking forward to, and I got it in spades. Not only is Ryan Lee's artwork spectacular, he has a fantastic knack for doing quite crunchy violence when it needs to, but he does fantastic character design work as well. A little bit caricatured, like there's some comedy kind of going on how people presented, but in ways that really work and add to the story. I mean, we do have that like mix of rednecks and city dwelling people of color, and I kind of like the disparity between the character designs for them. Sometimes it can be quite kind of scratchy, but not when he doesn't require it. He does fantastic landscapes and cityscapes, but it is mostly his interaction between humans in the world, which I really liked. And then the gory horror is absolutely fantastic about it. I was so looking forward to his comic book, in fact, not just because of him, but the Ziegler stuff as well, that I actually broke one of my rules. I usually do not read digital stuff I get sent ahead of time, and I get quite a few of them. I own a comic book store, it just happens. This one, though, I couldn't wait. I actually genuinely wanted to find out if it was going to be as good as I thought it was going to be, as it was great as I expected. And I'd read it and I enjoyed it. And I kind of had to try to tell people about it without telling people what it is. Thankfully, there's some easy tricks you can do with this one. Like, you can pick movies and TV shows which, like, could be used as good touch points. But I feel like none of them quite got it. Yes, there's elements of Tucker and Dale versus Evil in here. We've got, like, the redneck American kind of thing going on. To a certain degree, we have people out of their comfort zone to a little bit, and kind of a misunderstanding what's going on when horrific things start happening, and comedy ensues. But there's also like a bit of Shaun of the Dead to it, like not just in the very obvious like homage to the Something About Mary scene in Shaun of the Dead, which was beautifully done, by the way. I absolutely loved that moment. But also, again, this idea of people not really being sure what's going on and responding to it. And this is like one of my favourite things about the comic book, because I'm a big fan of horror. It's probably come across on a few of my reviews here. One of my all-time favourite horror movies, and one of my favourite movies of all time, is John Carpenter's Thing. And it works because it has very intelligent characters. These are literally research scientists and engineers at an Arctic research station trying to figure out what's going on and applying logic and reasoning to things and still getting killed by space monsters. But you go to the other side of that, you've got slashers where they're supposed to be dumb teenage kids doing dumb teenage things. I mean, go and watch Cabin in the Woods for another fantastic example of that kind of thing. But I find the most reliably entertaining stories are where people just behaving like people behave, which is put in horrible, terrifying situations where they are absolute lack of control and are trying to impose their will on the world by figuring things out and responding to it. But they're figuring things out based on very poor information. They only have what's in front of them. They have no idea what's going on in the larger context of things, and they're going to make mistakes as a result of that. These are not stupid mistakes. They're only kind of with hindsight that you'd look and think, well, why on earth would they have done that? But at the time, when your synapses are firing all over the place, you're dealing with information which doesn't make sense at all, then you're going to make the kind of decisions which will have bad repercussions. This all makes horror quite an entertaining genre, and in this particular case leads to some very entertaining things going on in there. What it isn't, though, and this was an expectation that I think I kind of had a little bit myself because of, well, we've got a POC writer doing something vaguely horror with a dark twist to it. I kind of thought this could have been pitched maybe as a Jordan Peele-esque type comic book, like the new Get Out or something like that. Thankfully, it didn't even try to do that. Yes, there are POC like characters in there at the forefront, and they have issues with race to a certain degree, but it is far more grounded just in who these characters are and the horrifying situations they're going through. I'm kind of glad about that. I think there's quite a lot of race trauma porn horror kind of stuff out there, and it's not necessarily my bag, although I think it can be very well done at times. This one is just exceptionally well paced, dynamic, funny as heck, brutal horror, and I think you should give it a shot. I really, really enjoyed it. That's it for me for now, though. I'm sorry, there might only be like one more review this week. I don't even know about that one. If you do want to miss out, though, make sure you do the social media thing. Until I see you again, though, look after each other, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.